The following program was provided by a valued member of our local community. Rogers TV is proud to support local producers and share local voices, ideas, and opinions. For more information, please visit our website.
Hello and welcome to the Grand River Black Music Festival and Conference Special. I'm Andrew Wood, and today I'm going to take you through some of the panels presented at the Kitchener Public Library during the festival. To introduce us to the Grand River Black Music Festival, Sandra Tyler Hennon and John Sarpong will give us a rundown on what this festival is about and its importance to the Kitchener-Waterloo region.
Black Music Canada is a national organization which seeks to celebrate the impact and legacy of Black music and Black music makers in Canada. We felt this organization was necessary because there was a dearth of sort of appreciation for Black music and Black musicians, especially historically. I think we can all look now at the current music scene and see successful Black Canadian artists, but there is a huge cohort of artists that have been unrecognized. And so, we make it our mission to recognize these artists, celebrate their impact, and also support the emerging artists that are coming up on the Canadian music scene right now. We are partnered with this wonderful festival, to showcase the talent of Black Canadian artists. We've known the sort of the lead on the festival for quite some time, Sandra. We've worked with her on several different initiatives. I've been on her podcast, she's been on our podcast, and I think this is really representative of the network that can be developed between those who appreciate and love Black music in Canada and those who are trying to take it to the next level.
The Grand River Black Music Festival and Conference is Ontario's very first Black music conference, and it's designed for emerging artists and people who love the music industry and want to work in the music industry to get the information that will teach them about their brand and how to access business information in regards to music that they can't get, like, do I deal with a record label? What is royalty splits? What is sync licensing? How do I get my music into a movie? We're teaching them all these tools beyond the microphone. We have conferences until 5 p.m. and movie screenings. So we have Michael Williams from Much Music, Master T from Much Music, Will Strickland, he started Bad Boy Records, DJ Ron Nelson, he's the pioneer of Black radio. He's broken so many artists into the scene, and essentially the pioneers of hip-hop who started hip-hop in Canada. In fact, we have Solitaire, who is our headliner also for our free concert outside the KPL in the parking lot at the Civic Center Park, and it's free.
Kitchener has a burgeoning and growing music scene, and specifically Black music scene. And I think it's important that we're able to galvanize these people, these artists, show them that there's an area where they can come together, they can network with people from across Canada, they can showcase their talent, and they can really push their artistry to the next level. So this is a tremendously important event for Kitchener, and I'm so happy that the Kitchener Public Library and municipal government and stakeholders at large are supporting it.
Now that we are familiarized with what this festival is and its importance, now let's take a look at some panels. The first panel we're going to take a look at focuses on the dominance of record label entry barriers for Black artists in mainstream music and features Michael Williams, Eric Alper, and Joel Joseph, and is moderated by Rudy Blair. The second conference covers the benefits of owning your own record label and the impact of streaming algorithms, and features Michael Williams, Eric Alper, and Black Orchid, and is once again moderated by Rudy Blair.
A record label back then and today was pretty much so a bank. You come to me, you say you want to buy a house. I loan you the money for the house, right? You give me the money back for the house. And then we're pretty much so done, right? Not with a record label. They just keep coming and coming and coming.
Right now, labels are a little bit more like marketing companies. You know, they're able to market artists, but they hold keys to a lot of doors. So, you know, they could sign artists. You got billboards. You got put you in movies. They could put you in all kinds of things to really establish your brand quickly overnight. But for that, you give up. You give up a lot.
These record labels, especially with the major labels of Warner, Sony, and Universal, they're really, I mean, when there's more people working in the data content management side of it than publicity or A&R, that's when you start to see a real change. These major labels aren't looking for the brand new artists that are out there that have 50,000 streams to bring it to 4 million. What they're looking for are artists that have 12 to 15 million streams on Spotify and supersize it and supercharge it and bring it to 200 million, 300 million. They have all the data in the world. It's why they bought 15.5% each on Spotify. It wasn't for the profit. It was so that they have access to so much data. They know by a postal code who's listening to what and for how long. And those are the things that they're looking for as a record label in order to sign you, with still a very, very strong independent sector still out there.
When did you start your label and why did you do that?
Officially, I started Black Orchid Productions in 2004. I started in my house. I just learned how to use Fruity Loops one day and just started to teach myself things. And I didn't really do anything with it until the last 8 years when I started collaborating with other people and putting out my own music on my label and everything like that. And independence is like amazing.
When you talked about the music video back in the day, do music videos matter today? Because YouTube is really where we go for that.
Yes, they do matter still.
They do matter?
They do. So they're very important because people need to see who you are and what you do, but they don't need the whole entire thing. And you don't even need to spend a lot of money making like a video either too with it. You can just take your phone and make a video of it because these phones have the capability of doing that. People are shooting music videos off of phones now. So you really don't need a lot to make visuals, but you have to be creative. If you really want to, get ahead, you can't really rely on other people to do it for you. You're going to have to learn these things for yourself. I don't care how many people are sick of seeing my face. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, everything. You're going to see me. And because people see me, I'm here.
When you have sheet music going to the gramophone, going to radio, going to, when radio was invented and then became popular, songs became shorter. And now you want to zip and fast forward through. There's a reason why YouTube has YouTube Shorts. There's a reason why Spotify has Spotify Canvas. All of that reveals something about the artist, but it's still the technology that runs and moves everything forward to how we consume music and watch music.
The final panel we will be covering today goes over the history of hip-hop in Canada and how hip-hop differs abroad. The panelists include Solitaire, DJ Ron Nelson, Master T, Michael Williams, and Will Strickland, and is moderated by Rudy Blair.
Hip-hop was rap before it went mainstream. We didn't have a hip-hop identity yet, so people were rapping, and it sounded great. We're talking about the old school now, going back to like the early 80s to the mid to late 80s, and then the hip-hop term became en vogue after that, because then the culture kind of shaped and found itself, and it needed to be redefined because now there's a lot of people in the game, not just in America, but also in Canada and other places like it, slowly making their mark in this music. So hip hop was like a fever for those who weren't around in the 80s. It was very easy to catch. Like everybody was infected that had a little bit of urban flavor in their DNA. If you could step, if you could dance, if you could move, if you could sing, whatever. If you were a b-boy, if you like to just express yourself, well, before you had to play an instrument or you had to be a trained singer. You need singing lessons to be a good singer. But guess what? With rap music, it's free.
When you think about hip hop around the world, is there a difference between Canadian hip hop and American hip hop? Is there a difference when you look at, say, hip hop in Japan? Is there a big difference?
When I think of the culture, see, I separate the culture from the music of the culture. Rap is the music of the culture. The culture. So when people say hip hop music, no, it's rap. So most people don't know the culture. They think they know the culture. They know rap, or they know the industry, the business of rap. Rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live. We live this. This is not like, I didn't wake up this morning and say, I'll put on my hip hop suit. I wake up like this. Not a different respect that when you're in a certain people's soil, you have to respect what they see and what they've gone through and what, you know, how they express that.
You know, the vibe is the authentic vibe, whether or not you understand, like if you talk about Japanese hip hop, we may not necessarily understand what they're saying. I don't know what they're saying in Japanese, but that vibe, the beat, the head nod. I remember having the conversation with Chaos when we're listening to a song, and I remember one thing he said to me that really resonated with me. He's like, yo, you notice how whenever a beat comes on in a club or you're listening to a song, everybody's like this. It's like, that's the vibe. That's hip hop. That head nod. That's the culture.
I think it took a while for Canada to feel comfortable within their own skin in terms of the fact that, you know, production, putting it out there and competing with very, 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 very little support. And so a lot of times when I look at the Canadian hip hop, like I think about how amazing it really is to the fact of how far it really has come, because there were, aside from if you did a video, yes, Much Music would play it, and you had that, but a lot of these guys were doing this stuff independently and getting their own stories out. And yes, and it becomes it is regional. You go to Calgary, you go to Edmonton, you go to Halifax, you know, they're all, you know, rapping about a different sense of what they've dealt with, what they deal with as individuals. I'll always lay true to the fact of what I used to call back in the day Canadian product. It's actually believing what still comes out of here and already has come out of here.
That wraps up the Grand River Black Music Festival and Conference Special. I hope you all learned why black music is so important to our community and enjoyed the in-depth look at the black music industry. Before we go, we want to give a special thanks to Sandra Tyler Hennon for making this special possible. Take care, and thank you for watching.